I am high out of my mind. Oh my God. I still have smoke in my lungs. I am high out of my mind, right? And I just checked my YouTube studio and saw that the last video that I did, and this one got more than my usual 7 or 8 views. And I was really just rambling. I would have to go back and listen to it because I really don't remember what the fuck I said. But I do know that I was not very detailed, which is probably why I didn't get any likes. Because I wasn't detailed. I was literally just rambling. But I suppose, because I have I can basically, I can count all my followers on both hands. And I'm absolutely, grateful for that, because it's like, wow, if you have subscribed and you are still here after listening to a lot of the crazy shit that I've said, why, thank you. Because I know that I say some crazy shit. Listen, but that being said, I guess this is something that I'll continue with. I guess really depending on how this one does. How this one does. Really, because, listen, real quick, I'm going to say this and I'm going to go ahead and jump into the story. The one thing that I'm absolutely terrified of is not being able to remain genuine to myself and to my channel. If this is the first time that you're hearing anything that I've done, please know that you will only ever hear me stone. You will not ever hear me sober if I can help it. And that's only because I don't have the time really to stop and think. I just want to remain as genuine as I possibly can and as honest as I possibly can about my experiences. With that being said, if, this is the first time that you've ever heard me, feel free to subscribe. Hey, but you know what? Or not. I want you to feel comfortable and safe in your choices. This is a safe space. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, right? So, I have made clear before that I am, I guess I could be considered a fairly sexual person. I know that people pick up on this because they tell me that they pick up on this. I've had so many people, and I've said this before, I've had so many people tell me that I have a lot of sex appeal. I am still learning what that is, because everybody has their own definitions for everything, right? So I do understand that I possess a certain sex appeal, whether I can recognize it or not. I say that to say this: there is absolutely nothing special about me. I'm average at best. Anyway, but really, there's nothing special about me physically, my physical appearance. The only thing really, I guess, is that I'm tall. And I do know that a lot of times with height comes like a certain walk. I see it with tall people all the time. Unbeknownst to us, of course. So I've also heard quite a bit that I have a walk to me. Way back when I was young and in my prime, I worked at a titty bar. Loved it. So much fucking fun. I was the only black waitress, but I was not the only waitress of color. It was legit a rainbow. I believe that I only got the job because when people see me, they see a black woman. Well, depending on who you ask, but most people say they see a black-ish woman. And so I believe that, he was like, yes, black girl, check. So I ended up getting hired into basically this rainbow coalition of waitresses. There was the white trash, blonde, blue, very, very, she just carried herself in such a slutty manner. It's so hard to really explain. She was incredibly fucking petite. I am 5'8". She was maybe like 5'1", 5'2", very fucking petite, basically fucking flat-chested and A-cup. She had like the most bright blue eyes I've ever seen in my fucking life. She had like facial piercing. She had a couple tats, but she had like this really stank walk. And people, there's like, Yeah, I was gonna say maybe I would call it ghetto, but no, it was not ghetto. It was definitely stank. Like, you knew she had some bodies on her, but she was super fucking cute in the face. Super fucking European feet, just very like, very bird-like features, sharp nose, large, round owl eye. She was very pretty. Next there was the Mexican slash Native American, depending on who you asked. Because they look so much alike already, right? Native Americans, Hispanics, Latinos, whatever the fuck they call themselves. The Africans who got off in Central America and then were bred out. Be nice, please. And then were bred out. So gorgeous, absolutely fucking gorgeous. A little thicker, also too as well, flat-chested, very long, black, like luscious, straight hair. She was just gorgeous. She and I connected right away. That's my homegirl. Shout out to you, boo. Shout out to you. She and I connected right away. Then there was me. I was the third hire. Because, there was this punk rock gothic old bitch at the time. Like, she was like in her 40s at the time. And we were like, why do you have this old ass? But, it was basically they were catering to their audience. So she was like this older, like Laverne and Shirley type, bright red hair. You could tell her age because we had to wear these revealing, but she was also a bartender. Then we had this bartender who I think was like, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with her. She was fucking weird. White, a butterface. My God, a butterface. But I guess under the fluorescence, I don't know. And then she would sometimes work our shift. And then who else was it? Okay, so I was the fourth hire, right? Small titty bar. It is now, small titty bar. Then the girl that they hired after me was a punk rock gothic for our shift. Loved her. She was also very too as well petite. I guess white guys just like petite. She was very petite. She was like if you could like if someone drew a gothic, your version of a gothic Tinkerbell, very petite, pixie cut, black hair, facial piercings, super Valley Girl voice. I guess kind of sort of like the way I sound, kind of sort of. Super fucking cool, just covered in fucking tats. Loved her. Loved her. She and I also connected vibe really fucking quick. And then who did they hire after her? Then it was the Amish, the German girl. This is who the story's about. The German girl. Red hair. Not as petite, but not as petite. She was maybe about 5'7", not too. She was about 5'7". Very, very just oozed like dominatrixy sex appeal. As a matter of fact, she would approach the tables with her, like we would have to, as soon as someone would come in and sit down, high as fuck. As soon as someone would come in and sit down, you see them, you immediately go to greet them and take their drink orders. So, she and I just so happened to like hit the table at the same time, because we were coming from different directions. The club is dimly lit. And then we see each other like as we hit the table. So I'm behind him and she's in front of him, I let her, just go ahead and take the guy, whatever. And this is how she greets them. She goes, "What do you want?" I was just like, wow. Red hair, very pretty in the face, looked like a fucking model, just very pretty in the fucking face, very pretty. And then the last chick that they hired, yeah, they were trying to like that club started to get fucking business. The last chick they hired was the Amish chick. Legit. Legit. She was fucking Amish. And then we had like the cool ass security, like the cool ass, what the fuck? Dream employment. I highly recommend if you are, I don't know. this day and age is fucking crazy. But yo, that was a dream job for anyone who was 18, because they hired 18 and up. I think it was like 20 when I got the job. 20? 21, maybe. 20 or 21. A fucking blast. A fucking blast. And then, like, depending on your personality, I was someone who I very much so got along with the strippers. Most of them very much got along with the strippers. There was this one bitch, though, who was, like, they used to make fun of her for being, like, a meth head. And she was not only, like, a meth head, she was a meth face. She was also fucking management at the time, who really just looked like he was just like this, and he's the one who hired me, like this skinny, vampiric, long hair, you know, just very, like, you could tell he just, you know, he wanted to give a certain impression. He wanted to be like, hey, I'm cool. And, you know, looking like a fucking school shooter, looking like, you know, he was responsible for fucking Columbine, right? Always in a fucking trench coat. Anyway, they were fucking. And so she kept getting like girl of the fucking month or week or whatever the fuck it was, doing the same fucking tired ass fucking routine. Like, she got zero fucking respect from like the other dancers. So whenever I would go back there to take like the dancers' orders, like their drink orders, I'm like, hey, you guys, what's up? Is anybody thirsty? They're like, yeah. And like, that's how you knew, like, if they fuck with you or not. Because, like, let me tell you, a waitress would go back there and then she'd come right back and stand against the wall, and you'd be like, nobody was thirsty? Nobody wanted anything? Are you sure? Did you get everyone? Let me go check. And you go back there, you're like, you guys didn't? Yeah. You just like, oh, okay, y'all don't fuck with her. Okay, I get it. I used to fucking clean up. Okay. So anyway, like, it was live. Like, working at a fucking titty bar, it was live. And it was so funny because sometimes I would go back there to get like the dancers' orders, and there was always this one dancer who had a fucking pimp. She was like my age, bruh, and she had a pimp, like this black woman who was like in her fucking 50s and looked like a fucking dude. I was just like, oh my god, yo. She ended up getting like her name tatted like on her I think like right above her clit. And she was like, come look at it. I'm like, bitch, you're insane. But she already had a clit piercing, so like she just got down like that. But so anyway, whenever I would go back there to take their orders, she'd always be like, hey, babe, come sit down and tell me what's up in waitress world. I'm just like, you're such a fucking asshole, bitch. What goes on back here, bitch? But anyway, listen, I was only there for fucking 6 months, bruh. Had a fucking blast. Got along with fucking everybody, bruh. Top fucking sales waitress. But here's the thing. In my prime, I had a little bit of a body, and it just so happened to be aesthetically pleasing to the white male. Okay, I was thin, but I had a little bump. Just a little bump. Fuck a little bump. I was doing something. But so anyway, like, and they were like, immediately, management was like, listen, you were hired to dance because you're not going to be a waitress forever. Like, we give you fucking 60 days. And I was like, Both of my parents are alive. I respect them very much. I've got a lot of fam in the feds. No. As a matter of fact, when I told my father that I was working at a titty bar, he was like, are you dancing? I was like, no, I'm a waitress. He was like, listen to me. Are you dancing? I'm like, no, dad, no, dad. And I legit, because I didn't have to. I was doing bomb as a fucking waitress because I was the only black waitress. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use real names because it's not like you fucking know us anyway. So the German was basically Henry, right? So Henry was. Listen, it's a fucking titty bar. So you have to have some kind of fucking issue, really, to, like, be working in a fucking titty bar. Anyway, we were all just overly sexualized, hypersexual. My body count was still incredibly fucking low, but look, I got personality, so I can can talk that talk. And I was in a committed relationship at the time. I was with my late husband. I was with him at the time. We were in a relationship. And, well, on and off. But, you know, we were together. And And so all the shit came out, about our personal lives, and we find out the shit that we're into, right? We find out the sexual shit, and we're young, so we're free, and this is like the hippie age where we're just like, free love, smoke weed, and that was just my shit. I mean, what the fuck? I would go to the bathroom and light up right the fuck there. I've been smoking my whole fucking life, right? Anyway, so basically find out that like more than a few of the waitresses are into coke. A couple, two, legit, are into meth. One was a recovering addict. She was the one who was younger. She was the goth, like the goth Barbie Tinkerbellish, like, she was a recovering, like, she was Cali sober, and that's been a thing for forever. So she was Cali sober. She would drink, and we would do vodka gummy bears, or vodka like gummy worms, just like stoking gelatin. Anyway, so it comes out that Henry is someone who does the coke, and she does the coke, like homegirl does the coke. Homegirl will sit there, pull out a little baggie from her cleavage, set it out on the table, roll it up. I'm like, oh, okay, Henry. All right, bitch. So anyway, she starts dating, or not starts, but she was dating this guy, this biracial guy. He looked black, but he was biracial. And whenever I would come because they were in there. We had regulars as waitresses. They would tell us all the time, you don't have any regulars. You're not a dancer. We were like, whatever, motherfucker. Whatever you want to call the clients that come in and spend just as much money on us as they do the dancers. Whatever the fuck you want to call them. So he would come in and he would sit at the table, and his, he would have his cronies there buying, lap dances and shit, table dances and shit. And he would always watch me. And I couldn't quite tell if it was like, like a disgust, like you bitch, or if it was just something more to it. So finally, after about a month, because I was used to, like, when you're in a titty bar, everybody's fucking staring at you. You're gonna meet weirdos all the fucking time who will legitimately sit in a fucking corner and stare at you. If there's actually a bodyguard, who... hey, Zach. Hey, who used to, like, do that. But it was like a turn on. Like, listen, I was in this weird phase, like, Heathers was like my favorite movie at the time. Like, I was Heathers obsessed. And he would stand there like a fucking weirdo in the shadows, like fucking JD, with his fucking, like, aviators on, his fucking in his long leather trench and his fucking black suit, and he would fucking stare at me, and it was a turn on because I'm like, that's right, watch me, I am art in motion. So anyway, she finally approaches me and she's like, my boyfriend wants to fuck you. And I was like, oh, okay. And just kind of like brush it off. Like, I'm going to go ahead and take these drink orders and I'll be back. She's like, okay. I wish I could say it in her accent, my boyfriend. I can't, so I'm not even going to act like I can. So she waited for me to, take the drink orders, come back to the bar, put in the orders. She's like, so can he fuck you? I was like, Henry, what the fuck, bro? Like, are you coked out of your fucking head? No, I'm not going to fuck your boyfriend. She was like, listen. She was like, just one time. Like, I just want to watch you fuck him once. I'm like, bruh, and on top of it, you want to fucking watch me. She was like, well, we like stuff like that. Like, we like to watch each other. And I'm like, so Henry, like, you fuck guys in front of him? She was like, well, not actually. It's more like he fucks. I'm like, but they were fucking bitches together. So I was like, oh. And then she's like, no, really, like, just think about it. Think about it. I was like, all right, Henry, I'll think about it. Just like bullshitting her. So he starts sending drinks my way. And I'm like, let me entertain it. So I go over to him and I sit down with him and I'm like, so I hear that, He was like, look, I'm just trying to fuck. Like, he's like, you're beautiful. He was like, I'm committed to Henry. Like, Henry is having my baby. That was when I found out she was pregnant, because nobody knew. And they're just kind of like, bitch. He's like, no, Henry's having my baby. And I'm committed to her. I'm going to marry her. I bought her a ring, and, you know, we're talking about the relationship. And a lot of it I don't remember. But we're talking about the relationship, and, you know, so he kind of, like, puts his hand on my leg, and he's rubbing my thigh, and listen, free love. And I'm turned on, right, because, like, I'm under the influence. I've been smoking the ganja periodically in and out of the bathroom with, like, my Mexican/Native American homegirl, and, like, the fucking black ballerina over here, the fucking black swan, the fucking gothic, fucking pixie cut. You know, like, we're fucking popping fucking vodka gummy bears. Like, and this is, like, around the time where I was really discovering that I didn't really like to drink. And, you know, he's, like, putting his hand up my thigh. He's, like, rubbing my thigh. And he's, you know, trying to, like, brush against my underwear. And I'm just all in the mood. But then he says to me, well, are you okay with Henry joining in? Or can she just watch? And I'm like, oh, that's right. Like, you guys wanna... I'm like, okay, like, So I immediately come to my senses, and I jump up. And I'm just like, no, I'm just not. And he's, like, fine as fuck. Like, he's fine as fuck. Built, tats, neck tats. And I don't know, listen, I don't know what the fuck it is about the aesthetic. And it really is just the aesthetic. Because once you hear the mental, you're just kind of like, no, this is wrong. But, yeah, just fine as fuck. So he's watching me all night, and he makes it a point to just kind of, like, whenever I stop to catch a breather, because it's a fucking titty bar, so we would stop from time to time, flirt with customers, flirt with clients, and, you know, we're selling drinks and doing all that shit. And I'm really considering it. Like, listen, you only live once. But it had gotten around the club that he and Henry were planning to take me home. So I'm going to actually say that maybe that was a huge reason why I did it. And I actually don't, and see, I'm not someone who really gives a fuck what people think. But I don't ever want to be, what I don't want is to ever be a sure thing. Because I'm not. That's not even who I am in real life. A sure thing. No. And if people are expecting me to give up the panties, I don't like that. Like, I would rather, because I don't, you know what I mean? I'm someone who I've said this before. I'm not someone who needs penetration. In fact, miss me with all that. If I never, and you're not ever supposed to say never, if I never had dick again, I'd be like, okay, but, like, your mouth works, right? So what that mouth do? But you know what? I've met more guys who prefer to give me, which, you know, clearly, oh, that was a nice ass smoke ring. Clearly you attract what the fuck you, I mean, not necessarily, well, yeah, what you are, because I suppose I would be defined, people would define me as, I would be considered a pillow princess. But yeah, that's basically the story about her wanting to watch me fuck her boyfriend. And I was like, and of course, like, I heard this more as I got older, as time went on, because, I mean, really, what's shocking anymore? My God, I feel like I've been invited to more threesomes than I have to, like, more birthday parties. Baby, knock it off. Okay, well, I've been talking way too fucking long. Holy smokes. All right, I'm out.